right.
All right, we are live.
How's everybody doing? How are you, Chloe?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks, Orlando. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you, thank you. I was just looking at the pound, and you have the pound Aussie, right? All pound pairs are just crashing hard right now.
Yeah, all of them are. All of them are. Um, it is, yeah, doom and gloom for the pound continues, I think.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It was really surprising to me that they were talking about implementing negative rates. I mean, and not just discussing the idea of going negative, but actually talking about implementing them on and how to do it. So that is going to be super bearish for the pound in the midterm. I'm definitely out of my long bias that I had earlier this week, and I'm going to continue to try to sell the pound actually, because with those stocks and the US dollar kind of getting some strength, it's going to be brutal for the pound in my opinion.
Yeah. Have you got any particular of the pound currency pairs that you're looking at for setups right now?
Well, actually, no. Right now, because of these big moves that we're seeing at the moment, it feels like looking at some setups at right now. It feels a little bit like chasing, but the one that I do like a lot, I can't find my chart. Just give me 1 second, Chloe. I'm sorry.
No worries.
This is the one. So the pound yen just broke with a massive support. Let's put it here. GBP, Japanese yen, right? But I mean futures. I'm sorry. All right. So the pound yen just broke with a massive support right here.
Do you want to grab the
Um,
screen, Orlando, and then we can
oh yes, I'm
have a look at
sorry
what
about
you're looking at?
that.
No
Yeah,
worries.
can you give me some powers, please?
I believe you have them.
Yep, I do have them. So can everybody see my screen?
Got it.
All right. So actually, earlier this week, I was looking at I was looking at buying the uh, the pound versus the yen at this level, just on a technical bounce, right? But it never actually broke with the reversal pattern. And now let's go to a higher time frame and let's get rid of this. These are just previous weekly highs and lows. It means absolutely nothing. But now that we have broken with this level, the level that I was looking for a bounce, right? Because of what happened right now, of what happened earlier with the Bank of England and the talk about negative rates, etc. Um, After breaking with this level of support, I will be definitely looking for a retest for a continuation lower. The reason, when I trade the pound, I do like to trade the pound versus the yen because it yields um, very long moves, and if your timing is great, you can get some really good risk to reward scenarios on this one. So let's have a look at some levels to the downside. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. Okay. Right now, the next level that I see where we can get some kind of support is the 133.90, which is about uh, 95 pips from or 90 pips from where price is trading at the moment. So if if um, if price reverses and retests the broken level, the 135.50 to 135.35, I think that we will get a great risk to reward to go for a short of course, that would be a short-term short, right? But because of what was said today, um, I will be looking to. I mean, if this scenario plays out, of course, I will be taking half of my position here, but I really will be looking to kind of a swing trade that's short, um, because it is the first time that I've heard the Bank of England talk about negative rates in this in 2020, right? Have you heard this kind of talk this year, Chloe?
No, I haven't, Orlando.
No, me neither. So that's pretty new, and that's going to wait a lot. And with the problem that you guys are having right now with Brexit, because I mean, when's the date that the UK is going to leave the EU, with or without a deal?
Well, we have already left, but the date for actually getting a deal arranged, I believe it's the end of October. I believe it's like the 31st of October or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we only have a few weeks really left to thrash out some kind of a deal. Otherwise, it's no deal.
Yeah, there's no deal. And yesterday, I heard Boris Johnson talking about, talking very badly about the EU and how they were negotiating in bad faith. And it looks like there's nothing, it looks like there's not going to be a deal by the end of October. So that is going to wait to in the pound also. And the reason that I like the short on the pound versus the yen is because of how the yen is trading at the moment. Let me just grab my commodities chart. Where is it? Oh, well, I'll just put it here. Oh, here it is. So this is the yen futures, and from the start of the week, the Japanese yen has just rallied and rallied. So with a weak pound and a strong yen, the pound versus the yen is going to move is going to have big moves to the downside because of the two strength of the currencies, right? So this is why I'm looking to short the pound versus the yen. Well, I'm looking to play a short on the pound versus the yen, even though that we do have some big levels very close to where price is trading at the moment. But and of course after that big move to the downside, but I do believe that there's some space to really get some profit from this currency pair, at least to the 132 level for about 350 pips. The other market that I'm watching and that I'm currently in actually was is gold. Have you seen the bounce of this level of support?
On gold, yes.
Yes. So what I did is, but let's just get rid of all the drawings and let's start with a fresh chart. I was looking at this level, right? And well, after this, actually, I took three trades on the very low time frames. After that, I took this one right here, and I got stopped out at break even. And I took one here after this candle, then another one at the break, and another one at the break right here. But I don't think. I don't. I'm not so sure if I'm going to be holding this for a long-term play. The reason is because of this. Well, this candle, this hourly candle or this 4 hour candle looks very well. These 4 hour candles look very bullish, but this level of resistance, it we have every time buyers try to break with this level, they get slammed back down. and I have been long a couple of times here and here and here, and I mean this level is where I'm taking profit because of this. I don't see a high probability of a breakout with the US dollar on the range that is trading at the moment, and equities at and US equities at this big level of support. But in any case, it was a very, I mean, it is a very good move for somewhat of a day trade. And actually, this is kind of what I'm looking at the moment. The other market that I was looking at was the German DAX, and the reason is because I was looking at the German DAX futures, and um, I was looking at the volume, right, at the volume profile, and I mean, if you look at this chart, it's super choppy and horrible, right? But today we got this big gap to the downside. And when we close that gap right here, it was exactly at this level of support, right? That it has been holding, or it had been holding for a while. And um, the gap close right at this level of support with the previous daily open, today's open, and the point of control. I mean, it gave me a very good tradable zone for a continuation short, right? Because the way that I look at this is that sellers have been trying to break with this level countless times, and then during when was this, right? This was today, right? During the off time of the market. So this was during the uh, overnight, right? We had this big gap to the downside. So there was I don't know what was it, but it must have been some kind of a fat finger, or yeah, some kind of a fat finger, big orders. But this big level broke, and that retest right here gave me a very good risk to reward scenario to go down. But I don't know if I mean, I've been very bullish. Not I'm not I haven't been very bullish, but my view on the German economy is more bullish than it is bearish. So this is just a technical play for a day trade, in my opinion, to reaches the lows of the days. Right here, let's have a look at the lows of today. Uh, yeah, must well, this one's right here. Yeah, so basically that's what I'm looking at the moment, and I mean, I have not. I mean, I'm not looking to enter any more trades at the moment. The other one that I was looking at, but I chose to play gold was this the euro US dollar bouncing from again a big level of support right here. um Even though we are at the top of the move, this range is big enough to play it, in my opinion. Of course that this move is already gone, but I mean, this bounce at the 161.8 of the previous impulse, and the retest of the previous weekly lows, and this big level of support. I mean, was kind of a slam dunk long for a day trade. But I mean, right now, I really don't see anything tradable that I would want to jump in. And how about you? Are you looking at some setups?
Yeah, well, I have been, Orlando. I was looking earlier on at the pound pairs. Let me just grab the screen,
Yeah.
and I was looking earlier on at the pound pairs because some of those had the potential to set up really, really nicely on my strategy, especially with the bounce at the weekly pivot there. I have
Hmm.
to admit, was what I wasn't expecting was such a fast move like we've seen here.
Yeah,
So obviously what I was hoping for was a really good entry opportunity coming from the weekly pivot. But since then, price has really just been on a run to the downside. So I haven't had the retracement opportunity that I would have liked across any of these pairs. And I agree with you, Orlando. The pound yen is probably the best one, for the reason that it has got this strong level of support here that has
that's a
just been
gorgeous level, right?
looks really good, that doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right now, there is just no point me trying to catch anything here because it wouldn't be a good reward to risk opportunity. But if we're
Hmm.
patient, then price could pull back to this level. And if it does, then that could give a really, really nice opportunity into the market. And I am also very bullish on the yen. So being bearish on the pound and bullish on the yen really does mean that pound yen is a pretty good cross to be looking at. And I'm bearish on the yen fairly long term, to be honest with you. Uh, Looking for retracement opportunities and opportunities according to my strategy, obviously, as this trend progresses. And
Hmm.
that could be on any time frame. So it happens to be the hourly that has been the best over the course of the last couple of days. We've had a couple of areas where we've had a bounce from the daily pivot, which has been fantastic, or bounces from previous levels of support and resistance. Even earlier on today, we did have this bounce from the daily pivot. Um, this is something that I will continue to look for shorts on. And ideally for me, what I'm looking at on dollar yen is I really want to see just a pullback into
Uh-huh.
this area here. That would be my ideal situation. There's the previous low that price has broken. We got some support there. I'd love to see a nice pullback into this area and then an entry opportunity short. And perhaps what would be even more ideal is if that pullback happens reasonably steadily. What I don't want to see is just one bar pulling back to this level. That won't give me a good entry. But if the pullback happens reasonably steadily like this, then perhaps we might even be lucky enough that by that time the daily pivot could have moved down as well. And then in the early hours of tomorrow, or shortly after the daily pivot has moved, that could give a really, really nice entry around that area. So that is definitely high up on my watch list. It won't be happening. I can't see myself trading something like that today. I think I do want to see that steady retracement, quite a lengthy retracement, and hopefully in several hours' time that will perhaps set up. So that's definitely something that's on my watch list. And then a couple of things I wanted to point out as well, which have changed somewhat since we last spoke. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500. So I was looking at this, and I've still got my roadmap in place. So I've still got my horizontal levels that are relevant to me, and they remain relevant. So where yesterday we were looking and we were above this latest level of what was support.
Hmm.
So I was looking for longs up to the monthly pivot. That hasn't happened, and price has now come right back down to within this zone between these two horizontal levels, which means that I'm not looking for trades. But what it does mean is that I now have a lower high on the daily time frame, which I have not yet had. So I now have this very clear lower high here. So now, if this level is broken and price makes it down here somewhere, then that is going top of my list for potential short opportunities then
Most
on
definitely.
the Nasdaq. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. And again, it's just a case of being patient. Yes, this has been going down for some time. Do I mind that I didn't get in up here with the shorts? I couldn't care less. I don't care at all. Because if this
Mhm.
does go down past this area, then it could head down all the way down to here. And there are plenty of probably very high reward to risk trades that could be traded down there, whether it's the hourly time frame, whether it's the 15-minute time frame, whatever time frame it is. I imagine there'll be plenty of opportunities on the way down there. So I don't mind if I didn't get in here. I don't even mind if I didn't get in here. What I'm waiting for is absolute clarity that I now have a lower high and a lower low. And
I
once that
completely
lower
agree
low
with you.
happens, then I've got a downtrend. Then I can trade short pretty
And
comfortably.
actually, Chloe, the way that you're describing that exact trade is in my opinion, the best way to trade the downside. I mean, let's forget that we're looking at the Nasdaq, right? And let's just have a look at that chart. That is such a bullish chart, right? That trying to catch the top of that move for a short, it's a terrible idea. But now that we have a lower high, like you just said, and then and if we break the previous low and we retest that low, that would give us a high probability setup, not only a great risk to reward for that short position, but also a high probability setup because we would be now in a bearish structure, not only trying to trade a pullback, right?
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, absolutely. It's not about ego. It's not about picking the tops and the bottoms of the markets. It's just about doing the market analysis and working out where are you happy to trade, where are you not happy to trade. Now, there are a couple of other options. The markets are so unpredictable at the moment. So perhaps price is going to come down to this low here and stay
Uh-huh.
there. Price could end up ranging in between these two levels, or it could bounce again and have another attempt up to the monthly pivot. Who knows? I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. But what I do know is if price breaks below here, then absolutely, as you said, waiting for a retest and looking to trade short. If price bounces at this level, I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing because that doesn't show me a trend. That shows me then ranging price action if price bounces again here. It's only going to be now if price gets above these highs
That's
that
what I
I'll
was
then be
wanted to ask you
investing.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So at the moment, I'm in a bit of a no man's land. And that's fine. I don't care if I don't take a trade on this for a week or however long it takes. But if price gets below here, then I'm looking for shorts. If price gets above here, then I'm looking for longs. Anything in between this zone now, I'm just not interested because yes, I may pick the direction right, but I won't necessarily be entering a high probability trade and I won't necessarily be entering a high reward to risk trade. Whereas above here and below here would be high probability, high reward to risk potentially. And the same goes for, I mean, it almost goes without saying, but the same goes for the S&P. Got pretty much the same situation here. I don't have such a confident level of support here, but I definitely do now have my lower high, which I had a feeling would possibly come at the monthly pivot, because I always like to see the monthly pivot as a pretty strong level of support and or resistance. So again, I've got my uptrend. I now have my lower high, which is the first indication that that uptrend is over or maybe over. I don't yet have my lower low. So until price breaks down below this level, I'm not interested in trading.
Yeah.
And while price is in between these two levels here, there's the possibility it could just go like that. Therefore, I'm not interested in trading. If it breaks down here, I'm going to be looking for shorts. If it breaks up here, I'll be looking for longs again. But bearing in mind, this isn't unusual price action. This has happened over here as well. We had an uptrend, we had a big retracement, we then had a lower high, but eventually price continued. So
Yep.
just because we've got a lower high here doesn't mean that I have to suddenly trade short, otherwise I'm missing something or anything like that. I'm just waiting, and if it's that level there, if that breaks, then I'm looking for shorts.
Yeah, and if that level breaks, there's still a lot of room to the downside.
Definitely,
Yeah, so I mean, patience is going to pay if that scenario plays out, you know,
for sure.
because yeah, because there is a lot of I mean, for until the for example, the 30 the level that I'm looking to the downside. Let me just quickly grab my chart. Would be around the 3165 to 3170 level, which is um, from the lows of your chart to that level. It's almost a 4% move, which
Mm.
is big enough to get some profits on, right? But I don't know what you think about or where your bias is. I mean, or you're just waiting for that exact range that we have been trading on to either break to the upside or to the downside, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Orlando. That's all I'm waiting for. So I'm not gonna speculate on this. I'm not going to speculate on whether I think economically this should be going up or should be going down. I'm just trading the technicals, and uh, it, that's basically all I'm doing.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
all I'm doing.
I agree with you, and because of how volatile the market is at the moment, you know, I mean, I have to say that we need to be careful when placing our trades and the timing that we're going to be getting onto the market. You know, just I mean, and I'm talking about this personal experience. You know, because this I mean stops have to be a little bit wider because of how volatile the market is trading, especially US equities, right?
Yes,
Uh, yeah, but if you get the timing right, the risk to reward is just phenomenal uh, right now in this market.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It is all about timing. So those are the main things I was going to look at. And you mentioned gold earlier on, Orlando.
Yes,
Gold is
well,
actually so you're am I right in thinking you're heading up to these levels here?
exactly. That's the
Exactly.
exactly. I mean, I'm playing the range,
Yeah.
Chloe. I'm just playing the range, non-directional trade for the time being. Also managing the trade super aggressively in the sense that uh, I will be not scaling in. I'm sorry, just moving my stops to the next higher low pretty quickly, just because we're trading inside of a range and I mean there's real no direction and I mean and when there's real no direction in the market, um, there isn't really um, one of the two that is going to be pushing price. You know, it's pure daily auction. So yeah, I mean just look at that 4 hour candle, that big wick to the upside. I
Yeah.
mean uh it that candle just erased all of the gains from the past couple of from the past hour or hour and a half in 10 minutes, you know. Yeah, it's quite difficult to trade and um, yeah, I mean trading a range is really not what I do, but the opportunity was there and I really liked that rejection of those lows around
Off the
the
lows. Yeah.
yeah, around the 1937 level. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just looking at push to the upside. And again, if we manage to move up to the 1960, 1965 level, uh, that would mean that we would be breaking that triangle. But again, I don't see a breakout of that triangle. I mean, to me, that triangle is clearly no longer in play. The level that I'm watching for a long continuation in gold, or for really, really get long gold for a long-term trade, perhaps a retest of the highs around the 2080 or 2070 level. If we break with the 1966, exactly that, I mean, that zone right there that you just pointed out between those two blue lines, if we break above those, above that zone, and we retest that zone, uh that's, in my opinion, that's the opportunity to really get long gold for a midterm trade. But for
Yeah.
the time being, it's just a range play, and quite annoying actually.
Hmm.
Quite annoying one. But I mean, it's fine. I mean, that's how gold trades. Just, I mean, just have a look at price action since the beginning of August.
Yeah.
I mean, most candles have super long weeks,
Mm.
super long weeks, and just the way gold is trading at the moment. And yeah, I mean, I just have to manage my trade correctly. But the thing is that if we get buyers jumping in that, I mean, in the market, and we push price, I mean, higher, to really get a clean break and retest of those highs around the 1970 level, I think that that's the opportunity to really get long.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I was going to point out, really, Orlando, was, I've been keeping an eye on gold for a while. I've been looking for breakouts to the upside. And every time it looks like it might be going to break out, it comes back within the range. And
Uh-huh.
for me, that's just a good thing. Because for me, really, when I look at a chart pattern, especially if it's a triangle, if we get a triangle like this, and then price breaks out, then it's not really consolidated that hard. And therefore the
Exactly.
breakout is not necessarily going to be that powerful. But if we get it where it is just consolidating and consolidating and consolidating into the apex of the
Yeah.
triangle, then we can really start to look for a breakout and potentially a much higher reward to risk trade,
And
more
much,
options
much
for
higher,
where to
because
place a stop loss. Um, more likely to be a strong breakout in either of the directions. To be honest with you, I'd rather it broke out long, but if it breaks out short, then equally there will be opportunities there as well. And so really what I wanted to say is, this is our last show of the week, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on this,
yes,
because
definitely.
yes, you can trade with the range, which Orlando is doing and making money from currently. But if that's not something you're comfortable with, then it doesn't mean you can't trade it. It just means you have to be aware that of the areas that you're looking for. And as Orlando says, above these highs here, once that breaks out, then if you get a retest of around about this area, or perhaps down here, that's when you can potentially get a good directional movement. Um, but
Exactly.
with that having been said, I have noticed that we have Jeff in the room. Jeff,
We have
twice
Jeff in
in
the
one
room.
day.
Hey guys, how we doing?
How are you, Jeff?
You know, that reminds me of the toothpaste tube, where it eventually it comes to the end and you roll it up. Or I used to, when they were metal, they're now plastic, most of them. And lo and behold, you try and get that all of that little last bit of toothpaste out of the tube, and then bloody hell, the whole thing bursts and it goes out to the top side or the bottom side. Doesn't it? It's the same, right?
It is the same, exactly the same thing.
Like a spring uncoiling, bang, away she goes. And it's going, we don't know where, right?
We don't know yet. We don't know where that is going.
And isn't that the whole point? When it's uncertain, we just hang on and wait until
Exactly.
it happens.
Yep.
We've got a big show coming up. Actually, we've got a whole heap of trades that we've been in. Not necessarily me with the YouTube crowd, because I've been off for the last day and a bit. But Ash has been going hard, and he's got a few trades that he wants to unravel, myself included. And I'm not sure we're going to take too many trades coming up, but it's interesting to see the FOMC statement overnight hasn't really produced a whole lot, except, in my humble opinion, to underscore the power of the yen, which seems to be going from strength to strength at the moment. It's about the story of the day, as far as I can see. The yen's strong.
Certainly is. Orlando and I were just discussing the pound yen, because the pound is weak, the yen is strong, and therefore that is on the move. Definitely.
Yeah,
That is
I've
on the
been.
move. That's on the radar, most definitely.
Okay, yeah, I've been having a bit of fun with the yen actually today on 3 counts: euro, dollar, and Swissy, all against the yen. Been having a good time.
Good stuff. All right, Jeff. So that show starts in, is it 10 minutes time?
You got it. 10 minutes to YouTube, and then we shut down and go to our subscribers at the top of the clock.
Fantastic. So we are going to draw this show to a close. Give you guys listening a chance to grab a refreshment. Make sure you're back by the bottom of the hour for the US show preview with Ash and Jeff. Plenty going on, and I imagine with the US
Yes.
Open,
Make
it is
sure
going to be action-packed.
get there.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to talk about, actually.
Excellent stuff. So that is it for the week for the Tea and Hot Sauce show with myself
That
and
is it for the
Orlando.
week, right?
Yeah, we're done for the week, and we will be back next week.
We will be back on Monday. I will see you on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday, and have a fantastic weekend, folks. In the meantime, enjoy Jeff Nash's show, and we will speak soon. Cheers, Jeff. Cheers, Orlando.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Have a
You
great
too.
weekend. Bye.